I was thinking about SoFi, and it was kind of incredulous that the stock price has stayed stagnant in this range. And it got me thinking, well, what is the major catalyst coming up on SoFi? Because we know it's undervalued. If you look on this and Simply Wall Street, it gives you a simplistic overview of the company's evaluation. I like this because it became profitable last year. Earnings is to grow 21.7%. High level of non-cash earnings. We all know that is because they're a lending company and most of their equity and assets concerning with their cash is going to be more of accounts receivable, meaning that the individual or the institution owes the company, but the company SoFi puts it on their books as cash, as an asset, until they have a delinquency in it. But simple thing here. I'm using the Fibonacci retracement tool here. I'm using this parabolic SAR strategy. The parabolic SAR strategy 3 weeks ago gave me an upward trend. So look at this, guys. Plain and simple. It started here. Look at that white line. That's the EMA 200. Started here. If I started here and I wanted to play that at 1142, I could have sold that at about 14. I know the wick says 1470, but let's just use this actual volume and that chunk as the range that we would have sold it in as. But I like this strategy. It's giving me an upward momentum. But if I'm using the Fibonacci as I have it here, this 100% is where I'm going to maybe look about the taking profit. But my true take profit zones are in these two areas. And if I'm looking at these two areas, it's saying they can go up to 22 all the way up to $25. So what would make the price do that? Well, there's right here. The Fed is potentially going to cut interest rate by June. Well, people are saying, well, that's if it's going to, they're playing tug of war, Trump and Jerome Powell. But I believe Trump, with the pressure that he puts on, it will eventually persuade Powell and the Feds to cut rates. I believe Japan and China and some other countries that are, going through a considerable amount of hardships right now economically, they've cut rates and it seemed to work for their country for the time being. I think we do need to cut rates. I know cutting rates is indicative of we're heading into a recession. I think cutting rates is going to be able to increase customer spending. It would increase a lot of things right now, and I think it's the perfect time to cut rates. But time will tell. There's a difference of opinion on cutting rates economically because you can see that we are definitely in a high inflationary period. I know they just came out with the inflation reports, but I think just simply by going to my grocery store, that inflation's still relatively high. If you're paying attention to the news, Trump is trying to persuade Walmart, the CEO, of not price raising their products based on their tariffs, and they're just saying to eat the cost. They're trying to agree with that, but that's a lot of work, and especially about those big CEOs, especially in Walmart, they care nothing but their bottom dollar, and the bottom line is how much more they've grossed over that year over year. That's all they care about. They don't care about the small people. But I'm saying watch SoFi. But this key points as I was doing some research on SoFi, I like how this guy wrote this article on Yahoo Finance. SoFi has found a tremendous product market fit as demonstrated by its growth. Of course, management is optimistic that earnings will soar in the years ahead. That means you keep this sucker on your watch list, and you can keep playing this and flipping it and holding it and doing whatever you want with it because SoFi, I believe, is here to stay. And to continue executing like this, there is a sizable potential for shareholders over the long term. Plain and simple, we know our potential is right here in this $25 range. Come to the Discord. Even today, I went 6 for 6. I got strategies that I'm working with that I'm really liking. I very profitable. We have other alerters that are very profitable on here. It's $10 a month, $10.99. Come on, I'll teach you how to trade, and we'll make some money.